IFC is part of the World Bank Group that focuses on the private sector. We provide financing and advisory services for the private sectors. Promote economic growth and development in emerging markets. Sure. So we're looking for Korean startups that can have a developmental impact in emerging markets. We require a majority, over 75% of the business to be operating in emerging markets. We also look for Korean startups that would have technology that can foster growth in some of the markets that we work in. Not specifically in Korea yet. Some of the industries that we look for is edutech, clean tech, e-logistics, and also e-commerce. We worked with Coursera from the United States and other startups in emerging markets. It's very exciting to see that there are so many startups participating in such an exciting event. I think there are a lot of promising startups, and we hope that some of these startups will further look into emerging markets as their next projects. I think Korean startups have a lot of potential in some of the markets that IFC operates in. And I also think Korean startups are very interested in some of the markets because of the fast growth that these countries are seeing right now. If there are any interest, maybe even at an early stage, we encourage these startups to approach us for information and some of the opportunities that we might be able to provide.
Tribe Accelerator is the first government-supported blockchain accelerator in Singapore. We partnered up with Enterprise Singapore in Singapore to support startups and bridge them with corporates from all around the world. We have 3 Korean startups that are already working with us. So Temco, doing luxury goods authentication, Tada, MVL, it's a blockchain startup based out of Singapore but run by a Korean founder, as well as Bifrost, which is a Korean blockchain middleware solution. Yeah. Okay, so at the end of this year, before we move on to 2020, in November, there will be the Singapore FinTech Festival as well as the Singapore Week of Innovation and Technology happening in Singapore on the 11th to 14th of November itself. So it will be interesting for Korean startups to be part of this. And in 2020, Tribe will be running our Batch 3 and Batch 4 of the Tribe Accelerator program. So looking forward to more Korean startups joining us. I think definitely please come to Singapore. And Southeast Asia, there's a lot of opportunities there for more Korean startups, and the area is welcoming to more investments, more capital, more startups, and more technology developments. So that will be interesting for Korean startups.
Hong Kong Economic Trade Office is a Hong Kong Special Administrative Region Government's representative agency. We are promoting cultural ties and economic and trade relationships with Korea. I think Hong Kong has been ranked freest economy in the world by the renowned research institutes around the world for many years. And Hong Kong has no the lowest tax rate, and in fact they have no sales and corporate tax. So with these benefits, South Korean startups can enjoy the benefits.
We have 110 offices worldwide, and we're supporting Austrian companies coming together with companies from all over the world. In our case, that's South Korea, of course. We're helping Austrian companies with information, coaching, and events. We have a large variety of Austrian startups that are doing quite well. I mean, we're strong in the IT sector, in the life sciences sector, but also in creativity and media. Now, I would like to take out a specific case, for example. We have the Austrian startup Artivive. Artivive has been a participant last year in our Go Soul program. And what they're actually doing is they make paintings in museums come alive. So this is an app that actually works quite well, and they already have some Korean partners. So they're quite successful here in Korea. And if you're interested in this company, of course, they're happy to find new partners here. The IFFestival is a great opportunity for us. I think it is a great opportunity to present our country and what we're actually capable of. As you can see with our stand here, we're surprisingly ingenious, and we would like to prove it to the Korean audience today. So It's nice to meet startups from Korea, but also our international colleagues. And I really like the initiative by dcamp, and I'm really thankful for organizing this event.
Czech Invest, we are a governmental agency of the Ministry of Industry and Trade, and we support the foreign direct investment to the Czech Republic, but we are also connecting Czech companies, Czech universities, R&D centers, like the tech centers with the foreign ones, and here in Korea we connect with Korean ones. Because Czech Republic is in the heart of Europe, we are in the center, and we have like strong neighbors, like trading partners like Germany, but we still have a good labor force. We have reasonable prices compared to the Western countries, and also we have a long history of trade also with Korea. There are many Korean companies, so there is some evidence, and I think Prague and Czech Republic is very popular for Korea, and we have the best beer in the world and nice girls. Actually, we are not specifically looking only for one type or field of startups. Basically, any technological startups, like we are following the trends: IoT, AI, VR, like artificial intelligence. So Prague is also very strong in the graduates in artificial intelligence. So recently we have a lot of these, and also we have a very strong ICT sector, like software developers. Many of Czech companies or even startups are successful in the Silicon Valley and other typical startup destinations. Definitely there are like startup events all around the year where Czech Invest, because we are the official Czech body or umbrella for the startup community. We are also like managing the startup support, the national startup support. So we are part of the international, for example, Innovation Business Cup and Tech Crunches and some other events like that. And we also plan incoming for the foreign startups to the Czech Republic, that we will take the startups to Czech and provide them mentoring, all the like information about Czech startup ecosystem, and show them the Czech Republic. That is a great destination to be.
First, you need to know that France is a startup nation. People in France are entrepreneurs. Entrepreneur is the French word. About 20% of French people intend to create a startup within the 3 next years. So we have people of entrepreneurs, and then there is a common will between the government, the French government, and the private sector to build a real startup ecosystem in France. So we have a very mature startup ecosystem in France. We have more than 10,000 startups, among them 8 unicorns. We have about 150 incubators, about 50 accelerators as well. So we have a very dynamic ecosystem. Last year we had funding investments from VCs of more than 3.6 billion euros, and it was a raise of more than 40% compared to the previous year. So it's really a very mature and still booming ecosystem. So it's very interesting for Korean companies to set up their startup in France to open them to the European markets.
So Maxime talked a lot about the government side good initiative. In French ecosystem, we have also very special private side initiative, which is French Tech Community, and we have also Community Soooo. So we are meeting every month. The community members linking French and Korean tech ecosystem. So we are meeting every last Thursday of the month. You can find more information on the Facebook. You can find us by French Tech Soooo.
Okay, last but not least, so France is welcoming a lot of startups all over the world. So we want to welcome more Korean startups coming to France in the different accelerators mentioned by Maxime. And also we're welcoming big Korean groups like Samsung or Naver to open their R&D centers in tech fields, in IA, artificial intelligence or big data. So in that field also we are welcoming Korean investors. Thank you.
I'm the investment officer at the British Embassy, and the Department for International Trade. We provide trade and investment services and practical support. We help UK companies succeed in South Korea and Korean companies set up and invest in the UK. We're actually really enjoying the IF페스티벌. I think it's a great place to interact with various startups in the various sectors.
We support Estonian startups to enter Korea and also Korean startups to enter Estonia. So if a Korean startup wants to establish their business in Estonia, then they will gain access to all the e-Estonian services and the EU business environment, and also fast and paperless company management, and a very international and supportive startup community. Yes, we have had a lot of interest, but currently there are not many who have actually already established the business in Estonia. Yeah. I think the most attractive fields are still the fintech and ICT and also healthcare. Oh, it has been great so far. The dcamp family has been very welcoming, and I think it's a very great opportunity for us to promote Estonia. So I hope there will be more such events coming up in the future.
Yeah, the Innovation Center is it's a center that is co-located with the Danish Embassy. What we are doing is actually helping Korean startups looking at Denmark, looking at the Nordics, but we're also helping Danish startups and corporations looking at Korea being a gateway into Asia. Definitely. I mean, Denmark is very well known for, of course, happiness and hygge and other things. But I think the investment into startups and this booming ecosystem in Denmark is actually something that is recognized around the world. Denmark and Copenhagen, of course, in particular, is one of the major tech hubs in Europe. I think we are a digital economy as well, so with the very tech-savvy Korean startups that we see out here, they have a good chance of making it into the EU countries, making it into the Danish market as well. And then we have a very big focus on sustainability. So I think with the Korean startups looking into sustainability issues, trying to work around or work with the SDGs, the sustainability goals, would also be something that can gain traction in the Danish market. Actually, we have quite a lot of Korean startups already working with us. Just last month, we had a batch of Korean startups looking into blue tech, ocean tech, that took part or were part of a maritime track at the biggest startup event in Denmark called Tech Barbecue. So that's just a few of the startups that we're working with. We have others as well. Well, quite a lot actually. We are bringing out Danish startups to Korea again with a joint program focusing on the Slush event in Tokyo. But we're also bringing Korean startups to Denmark for another Tech Barbecue and another scaled event that will take place later on in Denmark. And then we're advertising, of course, on behalf of the different accelerators that are based in Denmark for different programs. So we're working very closely together with the Danish accelerator program called Urban Tech program, which is focusing on smart city solutions or urban solutions. Very much. I mean, we are networking with a lot of different Korean stakeholders, startups, and other countries being represented here. So we're definitely here next year as well.
Let's imagine the future together.